You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. A man that was working in a construction zone was killed early Saturday morning in a hit and run on Interstate 81 near Hazel Township. State police at Hazelton are investigating the incident that took the life of 30-year-old Kevin Dendalk. The fatal hit and run happened around 1:15 Saturday morning at mile marker 143 near Hazelton. The driver is believed to have traveled on State Route 924 in Hazel Township before entering the on-ramp for 81 northbound. Police are looking for the driver of a gray 2000 to 2009 Hyundai Accent with heavy damage to the passenger side, along with a missing mirror. Anyone with information on the fatal hit and runs being asked to contact PSP at 570-459-3890. Police in Wilkes-Barre are investigating a home invasion that occurred in the city over the weekend. The incident was reported around 3 Sunday afternoon at Irving Place. Police haven't specified at this time how many suspects may have been involved, but do believe one to be armed with a handgun. No injuries were reported and nothing was stolen. Anyone with information, however, should contact Wilkes-Barre Police. An investigation into an animal hoarding and neglect case continues in Mahanoy Township. WYLN's Phil Kaufman has more on the story.
Code enforcement received a complaint about a strong odor from 21 High Street Park Place in Mahanoy Township. On Saturday morning, humane officers with assistance from police, as well as officials from Hillside SPCA, Ruth Steinhardt SPCA, and Save the Strays, responded to the scene where 44 cats were found inside the home. All of the cats were seized by officials and are being evaluated by veterinarians. Humane officers continue to investigate with charges pending. Members of Hillside SPCA, Ruth Steinhardt SPCA, and Save the Strays are asking for help with donations to help care for the cats. Ruth Steinhardt SPCA released a statement saying, "Today we received a phone call from Hillside SPCA. A hoarding case in Mahanoy City with 44 cats fell into their hands. We tried our best to make as much space as we could to help them. We took in 14 cats today from this situation. To say they are unhealthy is an understatement. These poor cats never knew what cuddling with their human was. They never knew a clean environment. All of them are scared and stressed, and we are doing everything in our power to provide for them. Over 40 animals who never asked to live like this are now sitting in a shelter waiting for someone to finally love them." The organizations will be posting the cats as they become available and need adoptions ASAP. If anyone is interested in adopting, please get in contact with Hillside SPCA, Ruth Steinhardt SPCA, or Save the Strays Schuylkill about where to start. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Philip Kaufman.
Thank you, Phil. We have more sad news to report tonight. Iconic journalist and friend of the WYLN family, Bob Reynolds, has passed away. Our Julie Stefanovich has highlights on his career and excerpts of an interview we did with him back in the spring.
The world of broadcast news lost a legend over the weekend. Longtime journalist Bob Reynolds worked in both television and radio spanning over 4 decades. His career began in the 1970s working at radio stations WILK, WMJW, and Wyln. He is most remembered as a news reporter for WNEP-TV, where he covered a broad range of topics from politics to investigative reporting. He retired back in 2014, but always kept on top of current events. We spoke with Bob back in March as the coronavirus began to steal the headlines.
I'm a ham radio operator, and I talk to guys all over the country. And a majority of them bash the media for getting people crazy. But my take on it is the media has no choice, because most of the information is coming from Washington or from the governors. And if you did, so the TV and radio stations are just parroting what's being given to them by the government officials. If they didn't do that, we'd be accused of covering it up.
Tributes poured in on social media as colleagues and friends learned of Bob's passing on Sunday. He suffered from Parkinson's disease and other health-related issues. But through it all, he continued his love for journalism by sharing stories of people through his ham radio operations. He dedicated a special room in his Whitehaven home to take to the airwaves, talking with people from around the globe. The last time we spoke, he gave us his take on how broadcasting has changed and progressed over the years, especially when it comes to digital and social medias.
I think especially the social media sites, you could instantaneously put something on there that may not be true and get people all whipped up. I was a reporter for 40 years, 7 years in radio, 33 years in television. And if this was back in the 80s, I don't know if it would be better or worse as far as people's attitudes, because in the 80s, we didn't have Facebook, Twitter, and just like we're having a chat now over the internet. That was not even thought of back then.
It was a privilege to know Bob Reynolds and also work with his wife, Wyln's own Paula Degnan Reynolds. Our hearts go out to the family as he will be greatly missed. Bob Reynolds was just 67 years old. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you for that beautiful story, Julie. And again, our hearts and prayers go out to Paula and Bob's family during this tough time. Luzerne County's seen its highest one-day total of positive coronavirus cases since May 10th. As of Sunday, the Pennsylvania Department of Health reported 48 new cases. However, the good news is no new deaths. Luzerne County has over 3,300 cases, while the total number of positive cases statewide sits at 114,155. The total number of deaths in Pennsylvania stands at 7,209 as of today. All 67 counties in the state have positive cases of COVID-19. Another man drowned over the weekend at the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area. A 25-year-old from New Jersey became the latest victim while swimming in the river Saturday afternoon. This drowning marks the 5th in just the past 6 weeks over at the recreation area. The deadliest year for drownings was back in 1999, where 6 people drowned. Officials with the National Park Service urge swimmers to wear life jackets in case they end up getting caught in a current. Since the 1970s, a total of 100 deaths have been reported at the Delaware Water Gap. Governor Tom Wolf addressed the issues of opting for online education and playing contact sports in the fall. Wolf, who was joined today by Secretary of Health Dr. Rachel Levine, stated that if a school decides to go completely virtual, it seems hard to justify having in-person contact sports being played in the fall. The state's also expected to hand down new guidelines within the next week concerning whether or not cheerleaders and band members will be permitted to attend games. A downtown Hazleton high-rise building will soon be receiving a facelift. The Hazleton Housing Authority Board awarded a contract of over $236,000 to Hudak Waterproofing out of Taylor to power wash and repaint Vine Manor's exterior. Other plans for the building include replacing windowsills, concrete repair, and rail installation at the front of the manor. Now, the contract needs approval from both the architect and solicitor. The authority will use money from a capital fund to pay for the renovations. Coming up on Wyln News, this week's hearings on how to safely reopen schools, plus making mail-in voting a bit easier for November's election. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old, and it's gonna rain out. Bye.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm a physical therapist assistant here at Physical Therapy and Balance Centers. This month we're here to talk to you about hip pain and what you can do for it at home. I'm going to show you a quick little exercise. So reasons why it's important to strengthen the hip is because just like anything, our body is a chain. And if the hip's weak, the back's going to be weak, the knee's going to be weak. So we really want to focus on strengthening our hips. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay on your side first. Make sure that your hips are forward and square. A lot of times people like to rotate back. That's wrong. You're going to lay on down, knees bent at 90 degrees. Keep the ankles together. You're going to open at the knees and then come back down. You want to refrain from doing this because that's not targeting the muscle. Just open and close. On August 29th, we are holding a hip seminar here at our facility. If you're interested, give us a call at 570-501-1808, and we'll hope to see you there.
Looking for information on the coronavirus pandemic? Make sure it's from a reliable source. Go to WYLNTV.com and click on the Lehigh Valley Health Network banner for the real facts about the coronavirus pandemic. And watch WYLN News live at 5:30 for updates on this ongoing crisis. The source matters now more than ever. WYLN, we're your local network.
The House Education Committee will be hosting a 2-day public hearing this week, focusing on safely reopening schools this fall. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesday, August 4th and Wednesday, August 5th in the House Majority Caucus Room at the main Capitol building. Tuesday will be a continuation of a previous hearing where public and non-public school teachers, administrators, and directors discussed their plans and concerns getting students back in the classrooms this fall. Wednesday will focus on stakeholders recommending legislation to ensure better flexibility as districts navigate and adjust to the pandemic. The hearings will be streamed live at both repsunny.com and pahousegop.com. The Department of State will provide postage funding so that all eligible voters can return their mail-ins and absentee ballots at no cost for November 3rd's general election. The department's working with individual counties to come up with the easiest way to implement prepaid postage for returned ballots, whether it be reimbursed metered postage, funding business reply mail postage costs, or reimbursing stamps. Eligible voters can apply for mail-in or absentee ballots online, in person at their county election offices, or by paper forms submitted by mail. Once the county determines the voters eligible, the funding will allow counties to send a postage-paid ballot return envelope with the ballot to the voter for their easiest return. Details can be found online at votespa.com. Many challenges were faced, but the Pennsylvania Lottery still managed to have yet another successful fiscal year. The lottery generated $1.14 billion this fiscal year between July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. It's the 9th year in a row it generated over $1 billion for vital programs that older Pennsylvanians rely on. The lottery sold nearly $4.47 billion in traditional games like draw, scratch-off, and monitor games. Scratch-off ticket sales alone grew more than 7% from last year, but overall traditional game sales were down over $33.8 million, or 0.75% from last year. $731 million were also recorded in online play, an increase of $349.8 million, or nearly 92% from last year. Coming up on Nuremberg's News Choice, we bring back our talk with Todd Eachus for Today in Community and You. Plus, another district suspends its fall sports practices. Stay with us.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown Hometown Village Square.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information.
From the bottom of our hearts, the WYLN TV 35 family would like to say thank you to all essential workers for your service to our community and for keeping us safe.
Hello and welcome to Community Near You. I'm Philip Kaufman and I'm here with Todd Eachus. We're discussing on last Friday, he held a press conference to discuss a new anti-corruption legislation,
Yep.
and we're going to be talking about that and a few other things today. So, Todd, first, thank you and welcome.
Well, Phil, it's great to be back in the WYLN studio. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Well, we had a press conference. Gary Wegman, Dr. Gary Wegman, he's running for the 9th Congressional District, which is basically everything in the Cunningham Valley except Butler Township all the way west of the Columbia County line. It's a much bigger congressional district. It goes all the way into the Berks County. And the district that I hope to represent in the 116th goes all the way to the Columbia County line in Berwick. It includes the nuclear power plant and the river in between. So we've had a press conference about a project. It's called the Berwick Petrochemical Cracker Plant. This petrochemical plant was envisioned in House Bill 1100, passed by the House and Senate and vetoed by Governor Wolf over concerns for the environment as well as worker wages. We held a press conference because the oil and gas company involved in envisioned in providing the gas for this project, Cabot Oil, they have been indicted by a grand jury in Susquehanna County by Attorney General Josh Shapiro for polluting Susquehanna County, criminally polluting Susquehanna County. Citizens may remember the tap water caught on fire in many people's homes in Dimmock. This is a investigation. They investigated that and pressed charges. So Gary and I had come up with a two-bill package. One, that any company indicted by the U.S. Attorney Barr or Attorney General Josh Shapiro for a crime would be prohibited from participating in any state program or any state tax credit program. Second is that those companies also indicted for criminal activity in Pennsylvania would be, or the federal government would be prohibited from contributing in campaigns. So their political action contributions from Cabot Corporation would be prohibited until the company is completely cleared of criminal charges. And we really think this is an important step forward because what happens in these projects, Phil, is that powerful forces get together around the region, they sit down in a small room, they calculate a project, they bring people together, they don't tell anything about the public. But in this case, we have criminal activity with one of the partners in the project, Cabot Oil and Gas, and I really believe that in order to halt corruption activity in these inside dealing projects, that you've got to have transparency for the public. So that's why we did the press conference, and I'm grateful to be here to discuss it.
Awesome. And we were talking before about House Bill 1100.
Yes.
And we were discussing how that plays into this. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. House Bill 1100 was sponsored by Aaron Coffer from Kingston, from Luzerne County, and co-sponsored by Representative Toohill. This legislation passed the House and then passed the Senate, but not with enough votes to override a veto. So there's been much pressure from many interest groups. Cabot Oil, last week or two, bought the Hazelton Area School District a printer for our center, our STEM center. They've had lunches here with the Speaker of the House, who took a gas job, a golden parachute, on June 15th, left the State House and took $1 million job with the oil and gas company. So these inside dealings at the Capitol, as well as small groups of people that are envisioned in House Bill 1100. The problem with House Bill 1100 is they haven't told the public about what this project is. So it's a House bill, cool. 1100, what does that mean? Well, it means there's going to be a big cracker plant. These cracker plants make either fertilizer or plastic pellets. So they use petroleum, natural gas, and they create a system. And these systems that they've created are mirrored after a project in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. Carnegie Mellon University has been involved in a study of air quality after that project. And for a 25-mile radius around that cracker plant in Beaver County, there's air pollution. And this project will bring the same type of air pollution across 5 counties: Luzerne, Lackawanna, Schuylkill, Northumberland, and Luzerne, Carbon, right? Right. So these 5 counties will see, just like we see at the nuclear power plant, the steam comes off the stacks and it's clean. It's clean water, right? This stack won't be clean. It'll emit volatile organic compounds. These VOCs have respiratory problems, especially for the elderly and those who have asthma and other conditions that require clean air. And one of the last great assets we have here is clean air. We have a dirty river, one of the dirtiest stretches of the Susquehanna, impacted by acid mine drainage, and we have miles and miles of open mine pits. So I think any citizen who lives here would say if we would lose our air quality, we may lose our great last environmental asset. So I'm opposing this project for both the criminality of Cabot, but I'm also opposing it because I live in Drums in Butler Township in the Cunningham Valley. We have the cleanest air anywhere. You can step outside your backyard and your porch and breathe deep here in Hazleton and know that you've got clean air. I don't want to lose that. So this project is concerning to me, and the people who put it together haven't been transparent with the public about where it's going to be located, what the risks are, and that's just not my way. If I find a gasoline spill under your house, I'm going to tell you about it and have meetings about it. If I find a dredge operator coming to Hazelton and I don't know about it, I'm going to be public and transparent with the public about it in advance of the project. So that's why I came out, and that's why Gary Wegman and I have put together this 2-bill package. We don't think this is a good project for the region, and I've never opposed any job-creating projects in my entire life, but this one, I can't support.
Well, it sounds like you're a man on a mission, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it. I hope that everything goes well. And I want to thank you all for joining us for this episode of Community and You. This is Todd Eachus, and you're running for the 116th Congressional District as the Democratic nominee.
I am. I'll be on the ballot in November. I hope I can count on your support.
Well, we look forward to it. And thank you for joining us today, and thank you for joining us as well on Community and You.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Tune in every Sunday night on Wyln from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on Wyln. I'll see you in the ring.
We've seen the concern in your eyes. You're scared, nervous, want to know if it's safe. The answer is yes. At LVHN, you'll see the extraordinary steps we take to get you the care you need safely. At all our facilities, you'll see temperature checks for everyone, that we sanitize every surface, and yes, you'll see that masks are required. What we look forward to seeing is relief in your eyes. Lehigh Valley Health Network. Your health deserves a partner.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about visiting a restaurant that has a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we'll be featuring on our show. Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. Jeff Bonomo and his co-host, Alan Giannetti, welcome you into the world of craft beer, great wine, and good food. Wine, Hops, and Road Stops.
All fall sports were suspended until further notice at Abington Heights School District. In a statement released Friday, the district put all voluntary preseason workouts on pause until further notice, after confirmed reports of COVID-19 spread among national, regional, and local athletic teams. That includes Abington Heights cheerleading, field hockey, football, soccer, and volleyball. When it comes to the Wyoming Valley Conference, that involves the district's field hockey team. Football also had 3 games scheduled with WVC teams, including their season opener. The PIAA recently gave fall sports the green light to begin practices at the usual time in August, but gave them the power to make their own decisions. That's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields